The auction block reeked of despair and disinfectant. Neha stood chained among dozens of other beings from across the galaxy, her dark eyes scanning the crowd of potential buyers with barely concealed disgust. The Zephyrian slave market was notorious throughout the sector, a place where the unfortunate and the conquered were sold like livestock to the highest bidder. She had been here for 3 cycles now, watching as one by one her fellow prisoners were purchased and led away. The strong ones went first, bought for manual labor on mining worlds. The attractive ones were claimed by pleasure house operators. The intelligent ones were snapped up by research facilities. But Neha remained. The auctioneer, a grotesque hut-like creature with multiple eyes, gestured dismissively in her direction. Lot 847, Terran female, age 26 standard years. No special skills noted. Starting bid, 50 credits. Silence stretched across the marketplace. Neha's jaw clenched. No special skills. If only they knew what she had accomplished before her capture during the research station raid. Dr. Neha Sharma, xenobiologist, holder of 3 advanced degrees, fluent in 17 languages including 4 alien dialects. But here she was just another broken human. 40 credits? The auctioneer tried again, his voice tinged with annoyance. More silence. A few aliens in the crowd snickered. Humans were considered a curiosity at best. Their planet had only recently made contact with galactic civilization, and they were viewed as primitive and unremarkable. Unlike the physically superior Chronari or the telepathic Villani, humans seemed to offer nothing special to potential buyers. 20 credits for the lot, someone called out dismissively. Neha's heart sank. 20 credits wouldn't even buy a decent meal in most spaceports. She was about to be sold for less than the cost of scrap metal. Then a voice cut through the marketplace chatter, clear and determined. 5,000 credits. Every head in the crowd turned. Neha's eyes widened as she saw him. Another human standing at the back of the gathering. He was tall, with weathered features and intelligent brown eyes that held no fear despite being surrounded by beings twice his size. His clothes were simple but clean, and he carried himself with quiet confidence. The auctioneer's multiple eyes blinked in confusion. Did you say 5,000? You heard correctly, the human replied, stepping forward through the suddenly parted crowd. His name was Adnan, she realized with shock. She recognized him from the research station. He had been part of the security detail, one of the few who had helped civilians evacuate before being captured himself. But sir, the auctioneer sputtered, this is just a human female with no documented skills. I'll claim her, Adnan said firmly, his voice carrying an authority that made several nearby aliens step back. 5,000 credits, as stated. The transaction completed with bewildered efficiency. Within minutes, Neha found herself walking beside Adnan through the winding corridors of the space station, her chains removed and replaced with a simple tracking band that all purchased beings wore. Why? She whispered once they were out of earshot of the market guards. Adnan glanced at her, a slight smile playing at the corners of his mouth. Because I know exactly who you are, Dr. Sharma, and because I have a plan. Over the following weeks, as they were transported to what they had been told was a mining operation on a remote asteroid, Adnan explained. He had been planning his escape since the day of his capture, but he needed someone with her specific expertise. The asteroid they were being taken to wasn't just a mining operation. Intelligence suggested it was a research facility, working on biological weapons. The other slaves, the guards, they all see us as weak, Adnan said during one of their whispered conversations in the transport hold. They think humans are nothing special. That's going to be their mistake. When they arrived at the facility, Neha understood. The complex was riddled with security systems designed to detect and counter the known abilities of various alien species. Telepathic scramblers for the Villani, gravity dampeners for the high-strength Chronari, electromagnetic barriers for the cybernetically enhanced Nixari. But nothing was designed to stop humans. Nothing accounted for their adaptability, their creativity, their sheer stubborn refusal to give up. Working together, Neha used her scientific knowledge to identify weaknesses in the facility's biological containment systems, while Adnan coordinated with other human slaves who had been similarly overlooked and undervalued. They turned their perceived weakness into strength, their invisibility into an advantage. The night of the escape, As alarms blared and alien guards scrambled to understand how their primitive captives had disabled their most sophisticated security systems, Neha found herself running through darkened corridors beside Adnan. "No one wanted me at that slave market," she said breathlessly as they reached the stolen transport ship. "Their loss," Adnan replied, firing up the engines. "They never bothered to learn the most important thing about humans." "Which is?" He grinned as they lifted off into the star-filled void, carrying with them not just their freedom, but critical intelligence about the weapon facility that would save countless lives. "We're not special because of what we can do individually. We're special because of what we become when we stand together." Behind them, the facility's lights flickered and died as the cascading system failures Neha had programmed finally reached the main power core. In the slave market, she had been worth 20 credits. But freedom, it turned out, was priceless, and humanity had just announced itself to the galaxy.